Hi, this is Nicole Dyer, and this is Can Airtable's AI tools add DNA matches to my base automatically? This is a part of the Research Like a Pro with DNA question and answer series, and this is a question that came up in our research logs lesson of the Research Like a Pro with DNA study group. So since AI field agents are such a great part of Airtable's AI offering, I wanted to explore this option and also Airtable's sidebar chat agent, Omni. So this is a fun question to dive into. So the question is, can Airtable's AI tools add DNA matches to my base automatically? And this would be great if we could have our relevant matches automatically added for us. So my initial idea was that I could take a screenshot of the match page, including the URL, and then upload that to an attachment field in an Airtable base, and then create a new analyze attachment field to extract the text, and then copy and paste that text into Omni and have it fill out the rest of the row. So here's the screenshot of a match page that I chose, including the URL, and that's important because when I log a DNA match, I want to include the link to the match page. So I always try to get the screenshot to include that. And then here you can see in my Airtable base, this is the Research Like a Pro with DNA template in Airtable that anyone can try out. The latest one is the 2026 version. And there's an attachment field to the far right of the DNA match details table. And so I'm just pasting a screenshot there with Control V to paste, or if you're on a Mac, Command V to paste. You can also drag and drop the file there if you downloaded it, however you want to do it. I just think it's so fast to be able to paste a screenshot into that cell. And then after that, you can see that it's going to transcribe. So I added a field agent next to the attachment to transcribe what is on that screenshot. So basically extracting all the text, including the URL, the names of the matches, how much DNA they share, that'll be extracted into the next field. So to set up your own field to analyze an attachment like this, you can add a new field or column, and I just titled this one transcribe. The type that I chose was called analyze attachment, which is an AI field agent that can read the attachment that you have next to it. And so I gave it the prompt to extract text from this DNA match page in these categories: person 1, person 2, testing company, number of centimorgans, and then I described those in the prompt. Then once I have an attachment, then I can click Run Agent because I didn't turn it on to be automatically running, so it only runs when I click Run Agent. And that can save you some AI credits so that it's not always running whenever you add something. But you might want to turn that on to be automatic later. After I click Run Agent, then you can see it shows Analyzing Files. And so I looked at the results when it was done, and it gave me the information that I asked for. Person 1 was Mark Elder, person 2 was DP, the test type was Ancestry DNA, the centimorgans were 44, the segments were 3, the match page URL. I actually did click that to make sure it worked because it didn't capture the full URL in my screenshot, but I noticed it did get enough of the URL. Up to that question mark is pretty much all you need. Everything after that is kind of extra. So clicking that link, it did work and take me back to the match page. The relationship, I wasn't as happy with this one because it took the predicted relationship, which is either third cousin once removed or half third cousin. And I wanted it to just pick up the relationship from the common ancestor hint. So I'll need to tweak my prompt or instructions for that. And then for the most recent common ancestors, it picked that up from the common ancestor hint. And so it has Elam Hollingsworth and Martha May Keach, and it has that they're the second great grandparents and then their birth and death ranges, which is actually really nice. But to link that to the most recent common ancestors to the people table, I only need their names. So I might have to tweak that as well. My next idea to get the rest of the row filled out was just to copy and paste that extracted information into the sidebar of Airtable, which is the Omni AI chat agent, and asking Omni to fill out the row. And so I pasted that in and said, fill out the rest of row 22 using this information. So row 22 is where I had put the screenshot in and transcribed it. And so when I did that, I thought I would fill it out. It wouldn't be hard for it, but it actually struggled. So I previewed the results. So I expanded the sidebar chat to be the full screen, and now you can see I'm going to preview the results. I'm scrolling down. The blue is what I added, and then it didn't fill out anything really. It just struggled with that. And I don't know if I just couldn't see it. I told it to add new records for the people, and I realized that it didn't have Mark or DP in the people table, and it wouldn't create a new linked record there. So then it created those, and then it added them in, and then I had to prompt it to add the relationship. And by that point, I was thinking this is not faster at all, and so this isn't really working. And I tested it a few more times and always got kind of inconsistent results. I could not get Omni to fill out the row. And when I looked it up, Airtable's support documents don't suggest using Omni to fill out a row. They suggest using the field agents. So I experimented with that, and what I realized is that the option here is to convert fields to field agents. And so instead of typing into them, you have one field with all the extracted information from the screenshot, and then all the other fields look at that extracted information and try to figure out what they're supposed to take from that to fill out their field. So each field is acting on its own, and you can set them up to run automatically or run only when you click on them. So I went through all of the fields in the row that I could think of to change to field agents. So what you do for that is you click on the drop down arrow. So on the screenshot here on the left that says number sign seg, that's for the segments, the number of segments, and click the arrow down next to that and then click edit field. Then you can change it to a field agent at the very bottom. So in the screenshot on the right, at the bottom of that, you can see automate this field with a field agent. And then there's a little button that says convert. So I just went through all of my fields in the table and clicked on that convert button for as many that I could. So converting this number of segments into a field agent made it so that now I have to write a prompt and to tell it where to get the information for that. So I told it to find the number of segments in the transcription of match page. And now in Airtable, to reference another field, use the @ symbol. So @ and then transcription of match page. So I want it to go look in the transcription of match page column or field and find the number of segments in that text block and then put it into this field. And so after clicking save, it asks me if I want to change this field's configuration and it will impact one dependency, and I just click confirm change. And I was doing all of this in a test space in my example data, which is anonymized and is just kind of pretend it's not my real data. So if you're trying something new like this in Airtable, you might want to make a copy of your base so that you can do the same and not mess up your original base in case you mess it up. But nothing got messed up here, so I clicked confirm change, and then I went ahead and did the same with all my other fields. One of the fields that wasn't able to convert was the URL field, so I changed the field type to be long text instead of URL, and then that one could be changed to a field agent. And then I clicked run agent on all of those and tested it out, and it was able to grab the test type and the centimorgans and the number of segments. It struggled with the linked person fields if they weren't already added to the people table. So if it was a new person, then it wouldn't add them. And so here, for example, when I clicked run agent on the number of segments, it looked in that block of text that had been extracted from the screenshot and put in 3 segments. So looking at all the field types here that got changed, so the transcription of match page, I moved up the attachment and the transcription to the far left so that those would be like the first things. So in the new workflow, I now will upload an attachment or paste the screenshot. Then I have the transcription of the match page, which is the field type is analyze attachment, and it just extracts or reads information from an attachment. Then the next field is person 1, and that's a deep match AI field agent, and it works with linked records. So it takes the name of a person that you want to link, so Mark Elder, and then it looks in your people table for Mark, tries to match to the right person, and then links it if it can find it. And then if it can't find it, it leaves it blank. But you're supposed to be able to put in the instructions that it can add a new record to the people table if it can't find it. So I'm working on trying to do that. And so person 1, person 2, and the most recent common ancestors and the relationship fields, those are all linked record fields. So those are all the deep match AI field agent type. Then the multiple select for the test type, that's a straightforward one. It just picks the one that matches. And then the number and the segments, those are easy. It's able to pick out, oh, this is the number of segments. This is the number of centimorgans that are shared. And so that one is just an easy agent for finding the number. And then the long text field type for matching the URL of the match page. And it just takes that match page URL and puts it into the long text field for you. So the ones that were the most challenging were the linked records for the deep matching. So if you already have those people in your database, it will work just fine. If they're not in the database, then it will struggle. So then I realized I don't want to have to click run agent every time. So I went back in to all of my field agents that I just created and toggled on automatic generation. As you can see at the bottom of this screenshot, it says automatic generation with a little blue toggle. So if you toggle that on, it will automatically generate once all the conditions are met. So all you have to do is basically upload your attachment, then the transcription of the match page will generate, and then all the other field agents will generate automatically once the transcription is done. So here's a little video of testing this out. So I uploaded the screenshot, I pasted it in, and so the first thing that it's doing is analyzing the files in the transcription of match page and trying to extract the data from that. And once it has that, the other fields will be able to start running. So it took some time here, it's gathering the information. And now it's working on generating all the others. So I realized I forgot 2 of the fields, centimorgan and relationship. I didn't turn those to be automatic. It really quickly got the number of segments. Now it's taking some time, and the URL is really quick. So I clicked run agent on those 2 because I forgot, and then it was able to get the number of centimorgans really quickly. That was easy. It's struggling to find the matches for the linked records. So it linked to the wrong person for the person 2, and it didn't link to anything for the most recent common ancestors or for the relationship. So it struggled on that. And it's still looking for a match for person 1. And so I'm just going to fast forward here a bit. And so what I ended up doing is looking here, and I noticed that the relationship had 2 options there, so that was making it hard because instead of getting the one from the common ancestor hint, it got the estimated relationship. So I wanted it to be first cousin once removed, so I just changed that here, and I just realized I needed to probably update my instructions there. And once I edited this, it regenerated everything, so it's like redoing everything again. So I kind of realized I needed to tweak my instructions. So I changed my prompt for the transcription of the match page field. And it's not truly a transcription. And maybe that would be best if I transcribed the whole thing first and then had another field that would go through and extract the text that I needed for the info. I don't know. I don't think that the transcription of match page was the problem. I just needed better instructions. So I changed the instructions to tell it for the relationship, get that from the common ancestor hint section, not the relationship prediction. And if there's no common ancestor hint, to leave it blank. And so hopefully that will work better. And then I went over to the person 1, person 2, and most recent common ancestors field agents and updated those prompts to say, if there's no person found, create a record using the person's full name if available, or whatever you have. And I don't think this still worked, so I'm going to have to tweak these a little bit. Maybe I need to say more details to create a record in the people table. Maybe that's what I need to add. So when I pasted in the image here and then it transcribed it, um, I was hoping that the new instructions about deep matching for person one, person two, most recent common ancestors and relationship would populate better and that it would work, but it still struggled to add new records to the people table for people that weren't already there. So it right away can get ancestor DNA, 211 centimorgans, 6 segments, and the URL. Then it's still trying to do the deep matching in the people table for the people. And so it should be able to find Mark Elder. He's already in the people table. But it didn't find person 2, which is the initials DM, and it didn't find most recent common ancestors, which were a new couple that weren't there. So you can just go through and add them yourself. But looking at my instructions, it's too bad that even though I said create a record, it still wouldn't do that. So I could just do that myself. It's not that difficult. It would be great to get it to work though. So I'll keep working on that. And I can also just type in the most recent common ancestors as well. Looking at my screenshot, it's Orrin, Jackson, Merrill, and Elizabeth White. So I can just type that in. If you already have added them once, then the next matches that you add will be much easier. So it just kind of depends on, what you're trying to get out of it. But I feel like this experiment showed that the field agents are really powerful in Airtable and that we can do a lot of data entry with the help of AI and kind of automate this process of logging DNA matches. So I think it's something that we can definitely figure out, and if I could get this far in just, a day of messing around with it, hopefully it's something that we can get to not too far in the future. So the takeaways from this are that the Omni sidebar is inconsistent with updating or editing a row. That's really not what it was made for. It was made for asking questions about your data and building tables and building fields and that kind of thing, but not for adding data to a row. But the field agents are built for that purpose, and they are very promising. They are good at looking at a block of text that you extracted or transcribed and then filling out the row for you. And I can see a lot of applications for this, even beyond DNA matches. If you have a will or a deed that you're transcribing and then a table that you'd like to fill out with the deed grantor, grantee, date, recording date, place, all of those things, that could really speed up the process. I think I just need to work on tweaking some of the instructions, maybe the transcription and extraction step. If that were done probably with more clear instructions, then it would be easier to match the linked records or create a new record. And then I just need to figure out the deep matching, how to get that AI field agent to create new linked records when it can't find a match in the people table. So I'll just keep working on the prompt there, and hopefully this will be something that can make logging DNA matches and other research logging a lot easier and faster. So thanks for watching, and good luck with your Airtable AI usage.